when you hit rock bottom, how do you battle back? Well, our next guest beat drug abuse and homelessness before having his full circle moment. Troy Vaughn served in the military before he lost his dad to a drug overdose. The heartbreak led Troy to his own drug use and landed him on Skid Row. He would spend 8 years there before hitting his rock bottom. That's when he turned to a mission for help. He went to school, got married, and began managing the very place that helped him. Troy is now the CEO of the LA Mission, and he is here to share his incredible story. What an honor. Please welcome to DBL Pastor
Troy
Vaughn.
Hi, you guys. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. We love a comeback story. So you lived on the streets of Skid Row for nearly a decade. What was a day in your life like back then?
It was a daily struggle. I mean, just survival of the fittest, every day getting up, trying to figure out what I wanted to do just to survive, to find a place to eat, to shower. And places like the Los Angeles Mission were just godsends for me during that time.
Pastor Troy, I got to tell you, these are my favorite stories. They're so inspirational, and I love people that work their way out of their situations, because everyone thinks they have a problem. But when you talk to you, you had a real problem. What was rock bottom like for you, and how did you get help to get you off the streets?
You know, rock bottom really became when I became estranged from my mom. You know, everybody knows a mom is always there with the unconditional love, but when she told me she couldn't help me anymore, it really woke me up to where my life had ended up, and I needed to make a change. And so for me, that was my rock bottom moment, for me to say I wanted to do something for myself, not for anybody else, but for me. And I was fortunate that I was able to find some really good people in my life that are still in my life today through the mission.
I mean, you know, I listened to your story, and you know, you talk about the loss of your father, and that kind of led to your addiction. And you know, it just really resonated with me, because when my father passed away, truly, I thought I handled it great. And then I had one of those moments, Pastor, where you go, oh, I've been drinking every day for a year and a half, but other than that, I'm fine. And it takes a second to go, oh, I am not the person I was. I'm not where I want to be. And I went about fixing myself. And so it's an absolute honor to speak with you. And, you know, the mission played a big part in your rehabilitation. So can you talk to us about what the rehabilitation program that the mission put you through was like?
Yeah, I mean, I went through a Christian discipleship program, and it really allowed me to really look at myself and really begin to do an inventory process, coupled with faith and loving people around me to help me with my journey. But it also gave me skill sets that I needed and the inspiration to return to school, to really begin to better myself and to see that I could be a part of the solution rather than the problem.
Oof. Chills. Every time you speak, I get chills. You are now the CEO of the LA Mission, and you've said that missions saved your life. How does it feel to have that responsibility?
You know, it's humbling. You know, not only am I the president and CEO of the Los Angeles Mission, but I'm the first African American to do so in over 86 years. And so I have an enormous responsibility that I'm not the last, and that I lead with a level of integrity and excellence in the space. But I think it's important to also let people see that, you know, I'm their future and they're my past. And when I say that to them, it wakes their eyes up to say, wait a minute, I can change too. So I'm the living example that change is possible.
Absolutely. And, you know, a lot of people have a thought about what Skid Row is and what it isn't. What are some of the common misconceptions about Skid Row, and how can we go about turning those around?
You know, a lot of people believe that Skid Row is, you know, an afterthought, but it really is a community. I think that when we begin to understand that the Skid Rows across our nation are actually communities where people live, and some of them thrive and work, and that's where they get a sense of belonging. And so when we can look at it from a community standpoint, then we can begin to do community development, right? And really begin to help people transform their lives. And I think for me, that is the mission that I'm on right now, to help people see the people that are there, because most oftentimes they're invisible.
Right. Pastor, thank you.
Man.
A thank you's not enough, but thank you so much for joining us today. DBL Nation, learn more about Troy and all the resources provided by the LA Mission at losangelesmission.org. Thank you again, Pastor.
Thank you.
Thank
we'll
you
be
so
right
much,
back.
you guys, for having me.
Come back soon,
pleasure.
please. Thank you.
Absolutely.